The black luxury car stopped slowly in front of the big, quiet house. No lights were on. No guards at the gate. No sound. The millionaire sat inside the car for a few seconds. He did not move. He did not tell anyone he was coming home. Not his staff. Not his family. Not even his business partners. This visit was a secret. He looked at the house. This was the house where he grew up. This was the house where his mother now lived. The same mother who no longer remembered his face most days. Alzheimer's had taken her memories one by one. Some days, she thought he was a stranger. Some days, she cried and asked for her husband, who passed away years ago. Some days, she forgot her own name. The doctors said her condition was getting worse. Very fast. The millionaire closed his eyes for a moment. He took a deep breath. He was a strong man in business. He faced billion-dollar deals without fear. But this was different. This was his mother. He opened the car door quietly and stepped out. The night air was cold and still. As he walked toward the front door, something felt strange. The house was too quiet. Usually there was soft TV noise, or a nurse walking around, or some light from the living room. But tonight, nothing. He unlocked the door slowly and stepped inside. The house was dark. Only the sound of the old wooden floor under his shoes could be heard. Creak, creak. He stopped. He listened. At first, he thought he heard nothing. Then he heard it. A soft voice. Very low. Almost like a whisper. He froze. Someone was talking. No, not talking. Praying. His heart started to beat faster. Who would be praying in his house this late at night? He did not turn on the lights. He followed the sound slowly. Step by step. The sound was coming from his mother's bedroom. His mind started to race. Is someone breaking in? Is someone trying to take advantage of my sick mother? Why is someone inside her room? His hands turned into fists. He moved closer to the door. The door was slightly open. Just a little. A soft yellow light was coming from inside. He stood at the door and looked through the small opening. What he saw made him stop breathing. Inside the room, he saw the black housekeeper. She was sitting next to his mother's bed. She was holding his mother's hands. His mother's eyes were closed. The housekeeper's head was down. Tears were falling from her face. And she was praying, not loud, not for show, but quietly, from the heart. Please God, give her peace tonight, the housekeeper whispered. Please help her sleep without fear. Please help her remember love, even if she forgets faces. The millionaire felt his anger turn into confusion. This was not what he expected. The housekeeper did not see him. She thought she was alone. She gently wiped his mother's forehead. She fixed the blanket. She spoke softly. You are safe, Mama, she said kindly. I am here with you. The millionaire's mother slowly opened her eyes. Her face looked tired, but calm. Very calm. This was rare. Very rare. The doctors said she was often scared at night. She cried. She shouted. She tried to leave the bed. But tonight, she was peaceful. She looked at the housekeeper. Her weak voice came out. Is my son here? His mother asked. The millionaire felt something break inside his chest. His mother was asking for him, but she did not know he was standing just outside the door. The housekeeper smiled softly. I don't know, Mama, she said gently, but he loves you very much. The mother closed her eyes again. Her breathing became slow, calm, almost like a baby falling asleep. The housekeeper kept holding her hands. She kept praying quietly. The millionaire leaned against the wall. His mind was full of questions. Why is she doing this? She's just a housekeeper. Why does she care this much? Why is my mother calmer with her than with the nurses? He remembered something. Many staff had quit. Some said the job was too hard. Some said the old woman was too difficult. Some said it was too emotional. But this housekeeper stayed. Every day, every night, even when others left. He had never paid much attention to her before. To him, she was just another worker. But now, he was seeing something different. Something real. The housekeeper whispered one last prayer. She kissed his mother's hand gently. Then she stood up slowly. She fixed the pillow. She turned off the bright light and left only a small lamp on. She walked toward the door. The millionaire quickly stepped back into the shadow. His heart was beating fast. The door opened. She walked out. She did not see him. Her face looked tired. Her eyes were red from crying. She walked down the hall quietly. The millionaire stayed frozen. He did not move. He did not speak. He did not breathe deeply. His mind was full of shock. This secret visit was already changing everything. He came home thinking he would see sickness, pain, hopelessness. But instead, he saw love. He saw prayer. He saw a woman who cared more than anyone else. He slowly looked back into his mother's room. His mother was sleeping peacefully. For the first time in a long time, the millionaire whispered to himself, "What is really happening in this house when I'm not here?" And that question was only the beginning. The next morning, the millionaire did not sleep. He sat in his old office, looking at the same family photos on the wall. Pictures of success, awards, smiles, business deals. But his mind was not on money. His mind was on one woman, the housekeeper. He could not forget what he saw the night before. The way she prayed, the way she held his mother's hands, the tears that fell from her face when she thought no one was watching. He always believed people only work for money. But last night showed him something different. That morning, he stayed hidden in the house. He did not tell anyone he was home, not even the main staff. He wanted to watch, to learn, to understand. From a distance, he watched her come into the kitchen. She wore simple clothes, no muck-up. Her face looked tired, but her eyes were kind. She washed her hands. She cleaned the counters. She made oatmeal the way his mother liked it. Not too sweet, not too thick, just right. He remembered how many nurses had complained. She is too hard to feed. She throws food. She yells. She does not listen. But the housekeeper did not rush. She spoke softly from outside the room. "Good morning, Mama," she said gently. "It is a new day." The millionaire watched as she helped his mother sit up. She brushed her hair slowly. Not like a worker, like a daughter. His mother looked confused at first. Then she smiled a little. "You have nice hands," his mother said. The housekeeper smiled. "Thank you, Mama," she replied. "My mother used to say that too." That sentence made the millionaire pause. Her mother. What kind of life does this woman have? Later, the housekeeper stepped outside to take a short break. She sat on the back steps. She pulled out an old phone. The screen was cracked. She made a call. The millionaire stood behind a window, far enough not to be seen. "I will send the money tonight," she said quietly. "I know it is not much, but it will help." "Yes, I miss you too." Her voice became soft, almost sad. "No, don't worry," she said. "I am fine. I have to be strong." She ended the call and wiped her eyes. The millionaire felt a strange feeling in his chest. He realized something. This woman was not just giving time. She was giving heart. Later that day, a doctor came to check on his mother. The millionaire stayed hidden again. He watched through the hallway. The doctor looked surprised. "She slept well," the doctor said. "Very well." The nurse looked confused. "That never happens," the nurse replied. The doctor checked the charts. "Her stress is lower," he said. "That helps the brain." The housekeeper stood quietly in the corner. She did not take credit. She did not smile proudly. She just nodded and went back to work. That made the millionaire even more curious. Most people wanted praise. She did not. That night, he followed her quietly. Not in a bad way, just to understand her routine. After her long shift, she did not go home right away. She went to a small church. The building was old. Paint was peeling. But inside, the lights were warm. She sat in the back, alone. She prayed again. Not loud, not dramatic, just honest. "God, give me strength," she whispered. "Help me take care of her." She reminded me of my mother. That sentence hit him hard. She reminds me of my mother. Suddenly, things became clearer. This was not just a job. This was personal. The next day, he finally checked her file. Not just her work record, her personal notes, her background. He learned something shocking. Her own mother had Alzheimer's. Years ago, she took care of her until the end. No money, no help, no bucks. Her mother passed away holding her hand. The millionaire sat back in his chair. Now he understood. This housekeeper was not just working. She was reliving her own past. She was giving his mother the love she once gave her own. That night, something unexpected happened. His mother became upset. She started crying. She did not recognize the nurse. She tried to get out of bed. The nurse panicked. The housekeeper ran in. She did not shout. She did not grab. She knelt down. She looked into his mother's eyes. "It is okay," she said softly. "You are safe. You are loved." Slowly, his mother calmed down. The nurse stood in shock. "How did you do that?" the nurse asked. The housekeeper simply said, "Love talks louder than fear." The millionaire watched from the hall. His respect grew. But at the same time, a new thought entered his mind. What if she is too involved? What if this is unhealthy? What if I am missing something? His business mind told him to be careful. His heart told him to trust. That night, he made a decision. A dangerous one. He would test her. Not to hurt her, but to be sure. To know the full truth. Because one thing was clear now. The housekeeper was not ordinary. And whatever was happening in this house was deeper than he ever imagined. The millionaire did not sleep that night. His mind was heavy. What he saw with the housekeeper changed how he felt. But years in business taught him one rule. Never trust without proof. Even when your heart says yes, your mind must still check the truth. So he made a quiet plan. Not to hurt her. Not to trap her. But to understand her real intentions. The next morning, he called a meeting with the main staff. He acted normal. Cold. Professional. "I will be traveling again," he said. "Long trip. Business in another city." The staff nodded. The housekeeper stood quietly in the back. She did not ask questions. She did not look worried. She just said softly, "Safe travels, sir." Her simple words stayed in his mind. That same day, after everyone thought he left, he stayed. He moved into a small guest room. No one knew. Only one trusted security man helped him. Nothing illegal. Nothing harmful. Just quiet watching. He wanted to see what happens when no one is looking. The first night, he checked the camera feed. He saw the housekeeper enter his mother's room. Just like always. She washed her hands. She fixed the bed. She spoke kindly. But then something different happened. She pulled a small photo from her pocket. It was old, bent, faded. She placed it on the table near the bed. It was a picture of a woman, an older black woman, her mother. The housekeeper whispered, "Mom, help me take care of her." The millionaire felt his throat get tight. This was no act. This was real. But the real test came 2 days later. The millionaire told the nurse to leave early. He wanted to see what the housekeeper would do. If she would stay. If she would complain. If she would take advantage. The nurse left at 6 p.m. The housekeeper was told she could go home too. "You worked long hours," the manager said. "You can leave early today." The housekeeper looked toward the bedroom. She hesitated. "My shift is over," she said. "But she gets scared at night." The manager shrugged. "That's not your problem," he replied. The housekeeper nodded. She walked toward the door. The millionaire watched on the screen. She stopped. She stood still. She closed her eyes. She took a deep breath. Then, she turned around. She put her bag down. She went back to his mother's room. Off the clock. No pay. No one watching. Except him. The millionaire leaned closer to the screen. His heart started to pound. His mother was restless that night. She kept asking for her husband. She kept calling names from the past. She cried. The housekeeper sat on the bed. She held her hands. She sang a soft old song. Not loud. Just gentle. The same song her own mother used to sing. Slowly, the crying stopped. Then something happened. Something no one expected. His mother looked at her. Her eyes became clear. For a moment. Just a moment. She said clearly, "My son, where's my son?" The housekeeper froze. The millionaire froze. This was different. His mother had not said that clearly in months. The housekeeper smiled with tears in her eyes. "He is busy, Mama," she said gently. "But he loves you." Then the mother whispered something shocking. "He was a good boy," she said. "He used to hold my hand, just like you." The millionaire felt his chest tighten. He put his hand over his mouth. That small moment, that small sentence, was a miracle. The next morning, he called the doctor quietly. The doctor came and ran tests. He looked surprised. "There are small signs of response," the doctor said. "Not a cure. But emotional connection helps the brain." The millionaire nodded. But deep inside, he was shaken. He had built empires. He controlled markets. But here, a housekeeper was doing something his money could not. But the test was not over yet. He needed to be sure. He arranged another situation. A harder one. He told a staff member to offer the housekeeper extra money. "Just sit with her less," the staff member said. "You deserve rest." It was a trap. Not cruel, but revealing. The housekeeper looked confused. "Sit with her less?" she asked. "Yes," the staff member said. "You can relax more." The housekeeper shook her head. "No," she said. She needs me. The staff member pushed again. You can earn more with less work. The housekeeper stood up. Her voice stayed calm. This is not about money, she said. This is about love. When a millionaire heard this, something inside him changed. This was not a worker. This was a protector. This was a caregiver by heart. But then, late that night, another twist came. His mother suddenly became very sick. Her breathing became heavy. Her heart rate went up. The nurse panicked. The staff rushed. The housekeeper stayed calm. She held his mother's hand. She prayed. Not for show. For life. The millionaire ran to the room. For the first time, he did not hide. He stepped inside. The housekeeper looked up. Their eyes met. Shalt. Silence. Tears. She realized. He had been there. Watching. Testing. Seeing everything. The room felt heavy. The truth was no longer hidden. And now, everything was about to change. The room was silent. Machines beeped softly. The millionaire stood near his mother's bed. For the first time in years, he felt small. Not powerful. Not in control. Just a son. The housekeeper stood on the other side of the bed. Her hands were shaking. She did not know what to say. She did not know if she was in trouble. She only cared about one thing. The woman on the bed. The doctor came in. He checked the monitors. He looked at the chart. Then he looked at both of them. This was a close moment, the doctor said. But she is stable now. Both of them let out a slow breath. The millionaire closed his eyes for a second. Why is this happening? He asked quietly. She was getting worse. The doctor nodded. That is true, he said. But emotional care can slow stress. Less stress means the brain can work better for short moments. The housekeeper looked down. She did not smile. She did not take credit. She just whispered, "Thank God." The doctor looked at her. "Whatever you are doing," he said, "keep doing it." Those words stayed in the air. The millionaire looked at the housekeeper. For the first time, not as a boss, not as a rich man, but as a human. "Thank you," he said quietly. The housekeeper looked surprised. "You're welcome, sir," she replied softly. But peace did not last long. Later that day, the family arrived. His aunt, his cousin, and one uncle. They came with loud voices, big opinions. They had not visited much before, but now, they suddenly cared. The aunt looked around the room. She saw the housekeeper. Her face changed. "Why is she always here?" the aunt asked loudly. "Where are the real nurses?" The millionaire tried to stay calm. "She helps," he said. "She is good for my mother." The cousin laughed lightly. "She is just a worker," he said. "You are letting her get too close." The housekeeper stood still. Her heart beat fast. She had heard these words before in life. She stayed quiet, respectful, but inside, it hurt. The aunt leaned closer to the millionaire. "You are too emotional," she said. "You are letting feelings control business." "Business?" the millionaire replied. "This is my mother." The uncle crossed his arms. "We're thinking about costs," he said. "Nurses are expensive, but so are mistakes." The room felt heavy. The housekeeper slowly stepped back. She did not want to cause trouble. She was about to leave when the mother suddenly spoke. Everyone froze. "I like her," the mother said softly. "She makes me feel safe." The aunt looked shocked. The cousin looked uncomfortable. The millionaire felt his heart jump. Those words, from a woman who forgot faces, but not feelings. The doctor had said that before. Memory may fade, but emotions stay. The aunt forced a smile. "That's sweet," she said, "but feelings don't run a house." That night, the family held a private talk. Without the housekeeper, the millionaire could hear voices from the hall. "She's getting too much power," the cousin said. "She knows too much." "She is influencing you," the aunt added. "You are changing." "Maybe she wants something," the uncle said. "Money. Property. Who knows?" The millionaire felt anger rise. "She has asked for nothing," he said. "She gives more than anyone." But doubt was planted, like a small seed. The next day, the tension grew. The aunt began watching the housekeeper closely. Every move, every word, looking for mistakes. The housekeeper felt it. She walked slower. She spoke softer. She felt unwanted. That afternoon, something bad happened. The mother became confused again. She yelled. She pushed away food. The aunt pointed at the housekeeper. "See," she said. "This is what happens." The housekeeper looked at the floor. Her hands trembled. She whispered, "I'm sorry." The millionaire knew this was not her fault. Stress made it worse. The doctor had said that, but the family did not care. They wanted control. That night, the housekeeper sat alone in the small staff room. She cried quietly. She thought of leaving, not for herself, for the mother. She believed her presence was causing family anger. She did not want to hurt the woman she cared for. She whispered a prayer. "God, show me what to do." The millionaire watched from the hall. He saw her pain. He felt guilt. He felt anger. He felt something new, respect, but also fear. Fear that the family would take over. Fear that money would speak louder than love. He realized something important. This was no longer just about care. This was about power, control, and jealousy. And the storm was only getting stronger. The house felt colder now, not because of weather, but because of words, looks, silence. Since the family arrived, everything changed. The aunt walked through the house like she owned it. She spoke to staff in a sharp tone. She gave orders. She watched the housekeeper like a judge. The housekeeper felt it. Every step, every breath. She kept her head down. She worked harder. She spoke softer. She tried to avoid trouble, but trouble found her. One morning, the aunt stood in the kitchen. The housekeeper was making soup for the mother. Slow, careful, the way she always did. The aunt walked in. "What does that smell?" she said. "Chicken soup," the housekeeper replied kindly. "It helps her eat." The aunt made a face. "That's not on the menu," she said. "We don't pay you to make decisions." The housekeeper looked down. "I'm sorry," she said. "She eats better with this." The aunt stepped closer. "You are just a cleaner," she said coldly. "Know your place." Those words cut deep. The housekeeper's hand shook, but she said nothing. She turned back to the stove. That afternoon, the cousin joined in. He saw the housekeeper helping the mother walk. Slow steps, careful steps. He laughed lightly. "You are acting like family," he said. "Don't forget who you are." The mother looked confused. "Be nice," the mother whispered. But the cousin ignored her. The housekeeper felt tears burn in her eyes, but she held them back. She had held back tears her whole life. That night, something worse happened. The aunt called a family meeting. Without the housekeeper, the millionaire was there. He listened. "She is getting too comfortable," the aunt said. "She thinks this is her house. She talks to mom too much," the cousin added. "She may confuse her." The millionaire stood up. "That is not true," he said. "She helps her." The uncle shook his head. "You are blind," he said. "You are letting emotions run this house." Then the aunt said the words that changed everything. "We should let her go." The room went silent. The millionaire froze. "She is bad for peace," the aunt continued. "She causes drama." Drama. A woman who prayed quietly, who stayed late, who asked for nothing. Drama. The millionaire felt anger rise, but he stayed quiet. He wanted to see how far they would go. The next day, they acted fast. The aunt called the housekeeper into the office. The millionaire was not there. On purpose. This was part of the storm. "You are being let go," the aunt said coldly. The housekeeper felt the world spin. "Let go," she asked softly. "Did I do something wrong?" The aunt crossed her arms. "You are too involved," she said. "This is not healthy." The housekeeper swallowed hard. "I'll only try to help," she said. "She needs comfort." The aunt waved her hand. "That's not your job," she said. "Pack your things." The housekeeper walked out slowly. Her legs felt weak. Her heart felt heavy. She went to the mother's room. The mother was sitting quietly. The housekeeper knelt beside her. She held her hand. "I may not be here tomorrow," she whispered. The mother looked scared. "Why?" the mother asked. The housekeeper smiled sadly. "Sometimes people don't understand love," she said. The mother squeezed her hand. "Don't go," the mother whispered. That broke her. That one sentence. She turned her face so the mother would not see her tears. That night, the housekeeper packed her small bag. Just clothes. Just simple things. She sat on her bed. She prayed, "God, if leaving helps her peace, I will leave." The millionaire watched from a camera. He saw everything. He heard everything. His hand shook. His heart burned. But he still stayed silent, because something bigger was coming. The next morning, the mother became worse. She refused to eat. She refused to talk. She cried. She called the housekeeper's name. Not her son's. Not the nurse's. The housekeeper's. The aunt rolled her eyes. She's being dramatic, she said. But the doctor said something different. She is stressed, the doctor said. Change is hurting her. The aunt did not care. She will adjust, she replied. The housekeeper stood in the hall, with her bag, ready to leave. The mother saw her. She tried to stand. She almost fell. The housekeeper ran to her. She forgot everything. The job, the firing, the pain. She held the mother. It's okay, she whispered. I'm here. The aunt shouted. I told you to leave. The housekeeper looked at her. Her voice was calm, but strong. I will go, she said, but not while she is scared. The room went silent. The millionaire watched from a distance. His eyes filled with tears. This woman was willing to lose her job for his mother's peace. And in that moment, he knew this was no longer about work. This was about sacrifice. And the final test was about to begin. The housekeeper stood in the hallway. Her small bag was in her hand. Her job was gone. Her heart was heavy, but she did not cry loudly. She did not shout. She stood with quiet strength. The mother was back in bed, still shaking, still confused. The aunt stood with crossed arms. Why are you still here? The aunt snapped. I told you to leave. The housekeeper took a slow breath. I will leave, she said softly. But please, let me sit with her until she sleeps. The aunt laughed. You are not family, she said. You don't belong here. Those words hit hard. The housekeeper lowered her head. I know, she said, but love does not need a last name. The room went quiet. The nurse looked away. The cousin rolled his eyes. But the mother reached out her hand. Stay, the mother whispered. That was all the housekeeper needed. She sat down. She held the mother's hand. She began to hum the soft song again. Slow, gentle, the same song from before. The mother's breathing slowly became calm. Her eyes closed. Peace returned. The aunt looked angry. She is manipulating her, she said. The housekeeper stood up. She turned toward the aunt. For the first time, she spoke with firm voice. I am not here for money, she said. I am not here for power. I am here because I know what it means to lose a mother little by little. The room froze. The aunt looked surprised. What do you mean? She asked. The housekeeper's voice shook. My mother had Alzheimer's, she said. I watched her forget my name. I watched her forget my face. I stayed until her last breath. Silence. Heavy silence. I promised myself, the housekeeper continued, that if I ever saw someone like her, I would not let them feel alone. The nurse wiped her eyes. The cousin looked uncomfortable. The aunt said nothing. Then, slow clapping filled the room. Clap, clap, clap. Everyone turned. The millionaire stepped forward. For the first time, he did not hide. I have been watching, he said. Shock hit the room. The aunt's face turned pale. The cousin stepped back. You were spying? The aunt said. No, the millionaire replied. I was learning. He walked toward the housekeeper. He looked at her, not as a boss, not as a rich man, but as a man who finally understood. You stayed when others left, he said. You prayed when others complained. You gave love when others counted money. The housekeeper looked down. Tears fell. I did not do it for praise, she said. I did it because it was right. The millionaire turned to his family. You fired her, he said. The aunt tried to defend herself. I was protecting the family, she said. The millionaire shook his head. No, he said. You were protecting control. The room went still. You talk about costs, he continued. But you never talk about care. He walked closer to the aunt. You visit once in months, he said. She is here every day. The cousin tried to speak. She is just staff. The millionaire raised his hand. Stop, he said. She is more family to my mother than any of you. That sentence hit like thunder. The aunt's eyes widened. You don't mean that, she said. I do, he replied. Family is who shows up. The housekeeper tried to speak. Sir, please don't fight because of me. The millionaire turned to her. This is not because of you, he said. This is because of truth. Then he did something no one expected. He picked up her small bag. He placed it back on the chair. You are not leaving, he said. The housekeeper froze. Sir, she whispered. You are staying, he said firmly. If you want to. Tears rolled down her face. But the aunt. The millionaire turned sharply. My house, he said. My mother. My decision. The aunt looked angry. This is unfair, she said. No, he replied. What was unfair was how you treated her. The mother suddenly opened her eyes. She looked at the housekeeper. She smiled softly. "Angel," the mother whispered. The housekeeper gasped. No one had heard the mother say a new word like that in weeks. The doctor later said something powerful. "Emotional safety creates moments of clarity," he explained. That word, angel, it changed everything. The room felt different now. The power shifted. The silence felt heavy. But this time, it was a silence of truth. The housekeeper stood taller. Not proud, not loud, but strong. The millionaire knew something deep. This woman had passed every test. Not with tricks, not with words, but with love. And now, only one thing was left. Justice. The house felt different now. Not tense, not cold, but clear. The truth had come out, and truth always changes the air. The millionaire stood near his mother's bed. He looked at the housekeeper, not as a worker, not as staff, but as someone who saved something money could not buy. Peace. The aunt and cousin stood quietly. Their power was gone. Their voices were low. For the first time, they had nothing to say. The millionaire took a deep breath. "There will be changes," he said. Everyone listened. "This house will run on care," he continued. "Not on control, not on pride." He turned to the aunt. "You are welcome here as family," he said, "but you will not make decisions anymore." The aunt's face became red. "You are pushing us away," she said. "No," he replied calmly. "I am protecting my mother." The cousin tried to speak. "But what about her?" he said, pointing at the housekeeper. "She is still just an employee." The millionaire walked slowly toward him. "She is the reason my mother is calm," he said. "She is the reason my mother sleeps. She is the reason my mother still feels loved." He turned to everyone. "That makes her more than an employee." The room was silent. The housekeeper felt her knees shake. She had never been spoken about like this, never defended like this. She whispered, "Sir, I only did what I felt in my heart." The millionaire smiled softly. "And that is why you matter," he said. Later that day, he called a small meeting. Just him, the doctor, the main nurse, and the housekeeper. "I want to make something clear," the millionaire said. He looked at the housekeeper. "You are no longer just housekeeping staff," he said. "You are now my mother's personal caregiver." The housekeeper's eyes widened. "With full pay," he added. "Benefits, time off, and respect." Tears rolled down her face. "I don't need more money," she said. "I know," he replied. "But you deserve more than thanks." The doctor nodded. "She has done something medicine cannot," he said. "She gave emotional safety." That evening, something beautiful happened. The housekeeper sat with the mother again. Same chair, same soft light. She held her hand. She hummed the song. The mother opened her eyes. She looked at her. "Angel," she whispered again. Then, slowly, very slowly, she turned her head. She looked at her son. The millionaire held his breath. "Michael," the mother said softly. His name. Clear, real, not mixed, not confused. Tears fell from his eyes. He dropped to his knees. He held his mother's hand. "I'm here, Mom," he whispered. The housekeeper stepped back. She gave him space. She smiled through tears. She did not need praise. That moment was her reward. The doctor later explained. "Love does not cure Alzheimer's," he said, "but can open small windows." That small window was everything. In the following days, the house changed. The aunt stopped giving orders. The cousin stopped making jokes. The staff treated the housekeeper with respect. Not fear, not pity, respect. One day, the millionaire called everyone together. In the living room. "I want to say something," he said. He stood next to the housekeeper. "In business, I learned how to build wealth," he said. "But in this house, she taught me how to protect what matters." He looked at her. "You reminded my mother who she is," he said. "You reminded me who I am." The housekeeper shook her head. "I'm just a woman who loves," she said. The millionaire smiled. "And that is what makes you powerful." The aunt looked away. She felt shame. Not spoken, but heavy. Later, the housekeeper received a letter. From the millionaire. Handwritten, not typed. It said, "Thank you for giving my mother peace. Thank you for giving me time. Thank you for showing this family what real love looks like." She held the letter to her chest. She whispered, "Thank you, God." On a quiet night, she sat beside the mother again. The mother squeezed her hand. "You are my family," the mother whispered. The housekeeper smiled. Yes, Mama, she said softly. I am here. The millionaire stood at the door, watching, not spying, not testing, just watching love. And in that moment, he understood something very deep. Money can build houses. Money can hire staff. Money can buy machines. But money cannot buy heart. Money cannot buy prayer. Money cannot buy sacrifice. Those things come from love. And love is the richest thing of all.